So, you clicked on this video, that means your bank probably looks like this. Dry, no relics, poor, but you want your bank to look like this. Well, you're not too far off, as today's video we will be discussing the best ways to get the most relic. PS, this requires a lot of grinding. There aren't many ways to grind relics as efficiently. Permadon, Chaser, Ferryman aren't really viable when farming for relics. So, you might ask, how do you grind relics? Well, first, I'll be wanting you guys to know about kits. When it comes to kits, I suggest running these stats. You'll want to have god rolls for each equipment, that being Star Boots, Black Pathfinder, Vigil Hood, a good pendant, a good earring, and a good face mask. 4 4% DVM rings, or 2 to 3 4% DVM rings with 2 to 1 2% DVM buff rings. DVM buff rings being either Ishin's ring or the ring that buffs your mantra by 10%. I forgot what's it called, not gonna lie. The stats for each of these will be in the description. There's only 2 massive ways to grind them, that being Diluvian and Hell Mode. We're going to start with Hell Mode, as I want to go more into depth for Diluvian later. Hell Mode. Now, Hell Mode is a great way to farm relics as a beginner or as someone who doesn't have any kind of relics, mainly Sinner's Ash. Discards such as Skip a Gripper is good for those who are lacking in the department of friends. You could request for a team of 4 to 3 people to help or carry during Hell Mode. It gives a lot of relics during 2x and with normal days, and Hell Mode is much easier than Diluvian, that being if you have a proper build. Builds such as Diluvian V3 or Dawnbreaker can make Hell Mode an easy task. Bells, I suggest getting TP Bell, Kamui, or your typical Sacred Field payback. Now, Diluvian. This is a major one I wanted to talk about. I hear so many people saying they can't solo Diluvian because they're scared to get wiped. You won't. Unless you play like if someone were to duct tape your hands together, then yeah, you will be wiping. Ahem. Anyways, Diluvian in my opinion is much better because you're not relying on people to wait until you get a full party. Easily soloable, tons of relics, and more fun. I admit, there were some instances where I myself got wiped, so with that being said, be aware that your build might get wiped. For me, I don't really care if I get more relics, so I don't go back after each Diluvian, but you should if you are a beginner starting to farm relics. Builds. For the builds, I suggest running a mantra build with high health and high damage for mantra. Gale is the easiest mantra to solo Diluvian alongside Flame, and I suggest going for something like Tempest Iron or Tempest Inferno. It brings a lot of benefit of doing Diluvian fast and easy. Although Tempest Inferno requires a lot of practice for the build to work, but it's really good for soloing Diluvian. Its benefits are high damage, high health, easy to use, but its cons are harder for human NPC waves. You could run an M1 build because M1 build could still go through Diluvian pretty easily, such as Diluvianaire. It provides high damage, high health, and easier human NPC waves. The cons for it is it will be a bit slower for mobs. It is really up to you on what playstyle you want to go for when running Diluvian. Personally, for me, I like to use mantra more than M1, but I'll leave that up to you to decide. Waves. Now, a lot of people are scared of later waves because they fear of wiping, but if you keep in mind the waves I'm about to say, you will be able to go through it like a breeze. Wave 25, Wave 26, Wave 31, Wave 32, Wave 40, Wave 41 to 46, Wave 48, and Wave 50. The waves I didn't mention could easily be done if you were to just spam mantra, M1, or bell. I know it might seem a lot of waves to memorize, but you can categorize them into different threat levels to make it easier to understand. Wave 25 will be the wave when it's bound to spawn. It really is quite easy if you play slow and make sure to spam all your mantras and use techs such as Uppercut Tornado. But if you're running an M1 build, be sure to notice if your health is going considerably low or else you might get wiped. Upon finishing, you will receive 5 chests, I believe, that gives relics and a lot of gems if you need them. Wave 26. This is straight after Wave 25, so upon finishing Wave 25, you should calm down and prepare. This wave contains 2 Stone Knights and a lot of Alpha Sharko. To easily shrug this wave, before you start the wave, make sure to proc every buff you have such as Reinforce, Flame Within, Inhale, Heretic Sutra, and other buffs. As soon as the waves start, proc Blinding Dawn to do a lot of damage, and when they are grouped together, proc Tornado. Make sure to move a lot during this wave to avoid the Stone Knight's attack. Wave 31. This one is the most challenging for me due to every mob in the wave being Thunder Attuned. There will be 3 Stone Boulder Knights thingy, I don't know what they're called, Squibble, and a Jellyfish. You would want to repeat what you did on wave 26, which is to proc each buff before continuing the Diluvian mechanism. This wave is tricky due to the fact that you are going to be stunned most of the time. Prediction is a good mantra to use on this wave, but if you don't worry, it could still be easily done. When the 3-stone Boulder Knight is about to spin, proc Bell, preferably payback, to deal the damage back to the enemy. If you don't have payback, you can still use mantras and running away so that your mantras aren't being cancelled. If you're running an M1 build, I suggest looking at Sardine's Diluvian video and get tips to do wave 31 with ease. Wave 32. It's not really a big threat here as much as the other waves, but I am including because of Moon Knight and Corrupt Bonekeeper. Moon Knight does a lot of damage when getting hit, and typically getting knocked into the air is not fun, especially when after proccing your bell. But Moon Knight won't stun you like Thunder or Gale Attune mobs, so repeat wave 26 and proc Blinding Dawn at the start. Wave 40. Now this is quite frankly the same with wave 32, but way harder. Moon Knight is present here and he will be corrupted. Moon Knight will have a way higher HP and does a buttload of damage to you. In addition to Moon Knight, there will also be a Thunder Attune Enforcer cancelling every moves and Bone Keepers to screw with you. Having Corrupt payback here will be a lot of help, but if you have Sacred Fields, just spray one of your mantra lands and isn't cancelled, or try to M1 kill everything in the wave. Wave 41 to 46. Now my least favorite part of Diluvian, and I have a good reason as to why. Typically from here on out, be ready to spend the next 15 minutes trying to kill every human NPC mobs. It's going to be really tedious as they have the skills of a God Seeker chasing number 1, and not to mention they contain a lot of HP. This wave you should proc Bell or use Radiant Dawn into Tornado. If you're on an M1 build, good luck. Joking. Just do Radiant Dawn and fight them normally as you would fight human NPCs in the overworld. Wave 42. Now I know I just talked about wave 41 to 46, but wave 42 has its own twist. If you were to run a mantra build, you are now locked to only using your M1, but don't worry, because if you were to have Water of a Duck's Back, which is a talent you could get for 50 intelligence, you could still use your mantra. Water of a Duck's Back requires 50 intel, like I said, and what it does is, when you vent, the lock for mantras will be removed. Now you do have to land the vent, but other than that, you should be set. Radiant Dawn into Tornado would do the trick. M1 builds, this will be your favorite because it's just like fighting them normally, as you wouldn't be affected too much when it comes to no mantra wave. Wave 48. It's pretty tough if you were to get stressed out here, but try to calm down your nerves and prepare for this wave. Bounders will spawn alongside Stone Boulder Knights and Deep Widow. Spam Bell and mantra for this wave and you should clear it within seconds. If you don't have payback or running an M1 build, Wave 50. Congrats! You made it through all the wave and now there's only one wave left. Wave 50 is where a lot of build gets wiped and where a lot of people succumb to the feeling of stress and forgetfulness to proc certain mantras. Relax on wave 49, and when you're ready, kill the human NPC to start wave 50. This one requires having full reset as it will benefit you a lot. This one has a lot of mobs, so be prepared. The mobs are Bounders, Brute Lords, Bonekeeper, and a lot of Curse Guards. Curse Guards can be used as health back when you're low. You should be looking out for Bonekeeper and Brute Lord due to their high damage and high health. Every mob on this wave will be corrupted and you should be playing it slow and careful. Use movement mantras to get out of sticky situations. My tip is to go to the shrine in the Diluvian mechanism when starting the wave, as it's the furthest away from the dangerous mob spawns and can help a lot with completing the wave. Congrats! You have mastered the Diluvian. Enjoy the amount of relics you deserve as well as legendary weapons and enchants. Make sure to pick up the Pathfinder as they will be essential for the build. Now you might have some questions regarding the kits. If you have no god roll kills, what do I do? Or, if my kills doesn't meet the requirement, can I still solo Diluvian? Answer to that is yes. Kinda. Well, you shouldn't risk Diluvian if you don't have the stats I mentioned. Can you still do Diluvian if you have lower stats than the stats listed? Yes, you can, but not to wave 50. I suggest running a lot of wave 25 first and getting your first god roll kit. Wave 25 still gives a fair amount of relics for your use, and grinding them for a kit will not take more than a few days. Should I run Diluvian with friends? Sure. It's highly suggested to run Diluvian with friends, but if you want to hog all the loot, I suggest going solo. But running it with one extra person or a couple friends isn't a bad idea, as it could lower the stress level and the fear of getting wiped, as long as you all share the loot. If you have further questions about waves, do sure to let me know in the comments. Well, that has been it for the video. I hope you enjoyed the best method to farm relics, because quite frankly this one took me so long to think about and edit. Hope you all had a great start to the New Year's. I know I'm late, but it doesn't matter. Thanks for watching and have a good day.